now that we've gone through, how you want the culture in your company to be and given them a few things to do really, really well, and then going through the process of asking yourself the three questions, specifically, again, question one, what do you want to stop doing? Now think about what happens to your workforce when you do that. What processes do you use internally to ensure prioritization of what's really important to you? Well, if your company is out there and really wants to change and really wants to prepare for the future, you've got to get down into the organization and you've got to do what's called a 1 to infinity list. On the chart here, you see step one, which is employee makes their list. It's fascinating when you have a company do this. Ask every employee, or even just start with your key leaders, wherever you're most comfortable starting, ask them to make a 1 to infinity list. What are all the things that you are doing today? And don't hold back. Tell me everything that you're doing and see what happens. Now, the natural human tendency is going to be to write as many things down as possible because everybody wants you to think they're super busy. They're doing a lot of stuff. Okay. So you get them to write down 1 to infinity. Then the manager asks for the list and looks at the list and says, okay, I can see all this. This is a valid list. Hands it back to the employee and says, now do me a favor, prioritize this list. What is most important? 1 to whatever number is on that list. And let them come up with that list. Okay. And then sit down with them and say, okay, I've looked at your prioritization list and I'm going to draw a decrement line on your list. Everything below, and in this example here, everything below number 7, I don't want you to do anymore, or I want you to delay, or I want you to hold until I have a chance to think about it. But right now, your most important 7 things are 1 through 7. Now, granted, when you look at this, number 8 might be actually your number 2, and that's an important conversation to have with the employee. But give them a no kidding list and say, these are your top 7 priorities. Anything below this, let's coordinate and let's talk about. But right now, I want to think about it because I might assign it to someone else, or I might decide it's no longer worth doing. This is a good way to get at your what do you need to stop doing. So once you see what they are doing, prioritize it. The beauty of this is when you draw that line, you look them dead in the eye, you say, anything below this, you come to me. I'm underwriting the risk. I don't want you to do that anymore. We call this the trust line. Now, when somebody picks up the phone, like my higher headquarters in the earlier example, and calls and says, where's my report? That line is drawn there so they can say, please talk to my boss. Or my boss has said, I no longer do this. And you're protecting that employee. You're empowering that employee to focus on the 7 and not get distracted to 8, 9, and 10. This is an incredible tool between your mid-level managers and your lower level managers. Doing this constantly works. Now, this tool also empowers your employee because if they're really good and this becomes a part of your philosophy, keep it in your top right-hand drawer. And when your first line supervisor walks in and goes, hey, I've got something I need you to do, and I need you to do it really quickly, it's very important. A good employee who's empowered, who understands the power of doing less things better, who understands the power of your culture, will pull out their 1 to 7 list and say, okay, boss, you got something new for me to do. I'm doing these 7. Which one of these do you want me to delay, hold, or stop in order to do this one you're about to tell me? Now, that does 2 things. 1, the boss says, okay, yeah, don't do number 7. Hold on that for 2 weeks until we get this done. And this becomes your number 1 priority. So it shifts everything down. Or the boss says, oh, you're right. I forgot you're doing those 7. I'll go take this task to somebody else. That tool is used to help the employee know what's important, and it has to be updated on a routine basis, and it empowers the employee so they know you're going to underwrite the risk. Therefore, they begin to trust the organization they work for. Get the people right, the organization will take care of itself. Thank you.